All right, this is it. We're in Harlem right now. We're about 2 blocks away from the scene where Alpo was murdered at. So we're gonna just do a little view, let you people know where I'm at. Okay. Take a little walk. We're actually on 149th and Frederick Douglass. So just a little history about these streets back in the 80s. You know, the streets were cold back in the 80s. A lot of these drug dealers and stick-up kids didn't make it out of the 80s. I guess this is the street that he came down. He probably got shot over here somewhere. And he drove up a couple of blocks here. So this is definitely the street he got. He probably got shot about this point here. And he's driving. And this is where they so-called said that they were baggies of heroin being dropped over here. Here goes some glass. It's probably blowing out from the shots. So I think he got shot over here somewhere. So this is from Alpo's truck. The glass is blowing out. Needless to say, there's a police station right there. So, I mean, it's ironic that there's a police station right here where he got shot at. So I was on a platform one time and I knew Alpo was on it. I tried to warn the dude that, yo, some of us cats are still out here. You know, he would have been better off just living his life as Abraham. Should have just stayed where he was in Maine. And none of this would have happened. But a guy like that, starstruck, he wanted to be Alpo Martinez. He wanted to be in the limelight. He wanted people to see him. And that's what happens. All right, so we're at the corner here at West 147th Street, Frederick Douglass. I think that's the spot right there where he got it. Police try to save his life over here. So you gotta ask yourself, what is this cat doing out here 3:20 in the morning? This is the intersection. Police station is right there. So it didn't take them long to get to him. They cleaned up the area there where the maroon truck was, and where he slammed into the cars. So, you know, back in the 80s, there were a lot of cold-blooded dudes out here. You know, I felt bad for Rich Porter, but sometimes the people that come from you are the people you know the best. People you consider friends, and they're never your friends. So, what I'm looking at right now is where Alpo most likely took his last breath. This corner right here. You know, where life goes on. So yeah, he probably just wanted to keep living the life of fame. He didn't want to be Mr. Abraham. He wanted to be Alpo Martinez. But things are not the same anymore. Time has changed. Nobody can glorify a rat or a drug dealer. And for him to come back out here and go back to his own ways, most likely the feds were watching him. Because when you're under the witness protection program, you get a check to live. So you are being monitored by the feds. So this was no ordinary Joe. There was nobody out here that did this murder. I believe it was done professionally. You know, these were 5-6 shots sent en masse. The whole thing could have been staged, could have been followed and being watched. Whoever did it didn't care that this was a police department right here. So that goes to confirm that it was a professional job. And I guarantee you, they won't find out who did it. Period. So like I said, it happened at this intersection. There's still glass in the road there. So most likely it could have been staged. Somebody could have walked in front of the car, stopped him, came out, and basically just shot the car up. This was no drive-by. This was up close and personal, because the holes in that car was way too big to be something small. And nobody reported shots fired. Ironic enough, because it's a police station here, so whether they use silencers or not, they got away with murder. And if the police do track who did this down, it'll be a blank spot, because I believe it was government set up to do this. You know, he definitely wasn't a like person. You know, he ranked up there with Bin Laden and Saddam Hussein and America's Most Wanted type people. It's just a matter of time before somebody clapped him. You know. Needless to say, Harlem is a good city. It's a good old town here. But this ain't the 80s no more. Guys who made it out of the 80s moved away from the city because, yo, you don't ever know when your past will catch up to you. That's one. Number two, a lot of people died in the 80s. It was a cold world back then. This place was flooded with drugs. From Frederick Douglass up to Washington Heights. Sometimes you can't chase the fame and fortune like you thought you had it before. Basically, he was out here making the feds look like a mockery. And the feds are not playing now. They were alive in the 80s. They lay dormant in the 90s. In the 2000s, the feds are just in full effect. As you can see, there are a lot of federal cases like R. Kelly and Tekashi 6ix9ine, and the feds are in full effect. And if they want to get rid of you, this is what could happen to you. So, there's some paparazzi poll. I don't see anybody coming to get you. You had nothing to do with what your father did. But he definitely was a dead man walking. And he brought himself out to light. But if he would have stayed where he's supposed to be and lived up in that apartment building in Maine, and just lived a quiet life like he was supposed to, this would have never happened. You know, back in the day, we glorified British workers, quarterfills, lambskins. We were superstars back in the day. Nice fresh gold chain. Go down to Canal Street. Go up to the Polo Grounds. Go to the Roxy's. All these good spots we would go to. But yeah, we would fly back then. We would fly. We had to have the best gear to do that. And there were no real jobs back then, so we were either stick-up kids or drug dealers. And the worst thugs that were on the streets, the worst drug dealers were the police. Because drugs got in that way. So we'll take one more walk where he was murdered at. Crazy. Alpo shot. Police station. Alpo shot. He's driving. He's driving past the police. Now, I've seen people do funny things when they get shot. You know, but for him to start throwing out baggies in front of the police station is besides what I can think about how he was feeling at the time. So yeah, he's driving. He's coming up this block right here. So he's driving this way. He's driving past all of this stuff. So-called dropping drugs over here. Like I said, I've seen people do funny things after they get shot. I've seen them jump up and run because you're in a state of shock that you got shot. But this right here was a straight murder hit. And he landed right there on 147th Street in Frederick Douglass. It's kind of chilly out here. All right, I'm gonna head back this way. I mean, I don't see any drugs in the street, but thank God for that. I guess the police picked them all up. Whether he threw them out the window or was it staged with the hit. But they'll never find the killers. So welcome to Harlem, New York, USA. Actual death scene. They don't clean up too much stuff here in Harlem. They just let the weather do it. So like I said, at the end of the day, some of us are still out here. We're just a lot smarter about what we do and how we move around. So y'all who think kids did it, y'all think that some Harlem people did it, that they had brought in some DC shooters. probably. But nah, this was up and personal. This was a direct hit. Alright, I'm gonna cut this video short because I got things to do, but I'm down here in Harlem. I filmed what I thought happened. End it from here. God bless everyone. Be safe out there.